dilemma that I've faced within the American public education system. We are so focused on a goal, whether it be passing a test or graduating as first in the class. However, in this way, we do not really learn at our fullest. We do whatever it takes to achieve our original objective. Some of you may be thinking, well, if you pass a test or become valedictorian, didn't you learn something? Well, yes, you learned something, but not all that you could have. Perhaps you only learned how to memorize names, places, and dates to later on forget in order to clear your mind for the next test. This part of my life is over, and I want to make sure that no other child will have his or her potential suppressed by powers meant to exploit and control. We are human beings. We are thinkers, dreamers, explorers, artists, writers, engineers. We are anything we want to be, but only if we have an educational system that supports us rather than holds us down.
That's right. Human beings have unbelievable potential with a good education system, which is something we don't have today. So while you're busy at work, you drop your kids off at public school, they're busy learning how to regurgitate propaganda and never think outside the box. They're learning communist doctrines or anything that's 180 degrees of what this country was built on. Your children are going to be the new police state keepers, the new Constitution destroyers, just like you were to your parents. And if you think I'm exaggerating, here's a story last week. 6th graders at Pint-Size School District in Arkansas were given an assignment to revise the outdated Bill of Rights by deleting and replacing 2 amendments using the War on Terror and the Patriot Act as a guide. Yeah, so don't teach the children what the Bill of Rights actually stands for and why they were put into place. Just have some kids that don't know anything about anything and have them rewrite the Constitution and imprint their brain for the next couple of years of their life. And that goes along with this story. Second Amendment definition in Texas school workbook triggers uproar. Parents at a high school near Dallas say the authors of a book on U.S. history misfired when they defined the Second Amendment. And it goes on to say that it was, quote, a summary of the definition of the Second Amendment, and it is, quote, keep and bear arms in a state militia, end quote, which is completely different from the real definition or wording of the Second Amendment, which is, quote, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, end quote. So if your kid's going to that school, he's walking away never understanding the Second Amendment, or at least understanding the real wording of it. You know, you're gypping the kids of a real education on U.S. history. And you've got this interesting story. This goes along with the recent healthcare bill. Death Panels 101, chilling high school assignment makes students decide who lives and who dies. And this is, I'm going to quote from the actual assignment right here. The following 10 people have a problem. They are all in desperate need of kidney dialysis, the process that removes waste from the bloodstream. Unless they receive this procedure, they will die. The local hospital has enough machines to support only 6 people. That means 4 are not going to live. You must decide from the information below which 6 will survive. So there you go. You're now teaching kids how to ration health care, which is something we never used to have to do in this country until government got involved with it. And this article should really make you nervous. Pint-Size eco-police making parents proud and sometimes crazy. Goes on to actually talk about a couple of these parents and their stories. In Clinton Hill, Brooklyn, Jan Schmidt, a stay-at-home mother, and Mark Gotez, a professor of furniture design, have watched amazed as their 4-year-old son chastises them for letting the water run while they brush their teeth. Quote, he'll come over and turn it off and say, every day is Earth Day, end quote. Miss Schmidt said, quote, he learned it at school, end quote. So there you go. Your kids are being brainwashed with an ideology that you might not agree with. So not only are kids being taught how to be little tattletales and little commies and how to pervert the Constitution, they're also being dumbed down. And a great article that points that out is an article published a couple months ago, or a couple years ago. Oklahoma City Council Public Affairs commissioned a survey, and the Oklahoma City-based group enlisted national research firms strategic vision to access students' basic civil knowledge. And here are just some of the questions that were asked. What is the supreme law of the land? 28% knew it. What are two parts of the U.S. Congress? 27% knew it. Who was the first president of the United States? 23% knew it. That's just shocking. And that goes along with an 8th grade exam from 1912 that was just found. And if you go through and read this, I would probably fail it. I'm sure most of you would too, but if you go through their civil government section, question number 1, define the following forms of government. Democracy, limited monarchy, absolute monarchy, republic. Give examples of each. Even back in the day, they used to point out the differences between a democracy and a republic. Not today, though. Number 4, name and define 3 branches of government of the United States. Number 6, name 3 rights given Congress by the Constitution and 2 rights denied Congress. I mean, just look at how much more in-depth those are, and these are 8th graders that are answering these questions. So don't tell me our kids aren't becoming retarded little commies.